we go. Happy
Hey, love
Thursday.
it. Love what you're wearing.
Hey, I love what you're wearing too. This is my second man today that's matched up with me, so this is a good sign.
Well, it's so great. It's so great to see you. Unlike you, I have not been wearing my sunscreen, obviously. I've been outside a lot because we finally got some warm weather that rolled into Ottawa. And so, just been trying to soak up that vitamin D out here. How,
Mhm.
how, how have you been?
Well, I'm good, and believe it or not, I have been in the sun. I do have a little tan under here,
Excellent. Excellent.
and it's been hot. It was 31.5 yesterday Celsius, so we're having that heat wave like California right now. So actually, it was hotter here than it was in Santa Rancho Margarita. It was horrible.
Well, why would you go down there then? You might as
Well,
well stay here.
exactly. I wouldn't want to be there right now. It's too hot. Palm Springs, my friend Prince told you, 124
Oh yeah.
record-breaking day yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. And I'm very familiar with Palm Springs. I always used to go when I played for the LA Kings.
Right,
I used to spend a lot of time there, and the owner had a place there, and I was friends with his
right,
daughter. And so,
right.
but I remember playing golf there where you couldn't not go out on the golf course without having a fully, like, you have a cooler in the golf cart beside you and it's full of cold towels that are wrapped in ice. And so you
Oh,
put these ice towels on your head and they drape down your back, and when you get out of the cart you wear that when you play, just so that
oh,
you can
jeez.
just so that you can function, right? And
Right,
you're guzzling whatever there is to
right.
guzzle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, every once in a while, our host and I, we just do a catch-up show, and that's what we're going to do today because we often have guests, but I don't know about you, Doug, but sometimes I just break away. There's a hockey word, and do my own show, just me. And I think it's important for us to just do our own thing every once in a while because
Well, one of the
we have
subjects.
things we want to say.
I agree. I agree. Like what every 6 weeks we need to do this because we need to bring people up to speed on what's going on in the recovery and
Mhm,
performance world, right? There's so many
absolutely.
people coming at us all the time, and we got some incredible guests coming up, like in the healing space. It's going to get crazy, and one of the reasons that we're doing that is because we're running out of doctors, and people think that the decline in doctors is going to be some type of linear decline. This is not going to be linear. This is, Laurie, this is a cliff
Oh,
coming, right? And everybody thinks it's just going to taper off and we'll be just fine. And no, 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 no. We
no.
we have to we have to take control of the situation ourselves. And like in Africa, I was speaking to an Africana today, and one doctor for 150,000, and that's not the worst case over in Africa.
No.
And so what happens when that happens? What are the studies that are going on? I think people should start to dive deeper. We're just going to brush over the top of it a little bit and talk about what you're doing, the boots on the ground, and just a little piece of it, so we can maybe wake people up a little bit. If they're looking for a family doctor, we're going to be coming to the table with some options that you can look at, in future shows. So just to make sure that everybody's healthy first, right? Let's take care of those three priorities: meeting basic needs, and
Hmm.
and and having somebody that can help you, whether they have an MD beside their name or not, uh, is going to become irrelevant, I think, in the future. I really do.
Well, absolutely. And for years, I've always had a doctor, and I'm really grateful for that. And I have an incredible doctor. She's from South Africa as well, and she's amazing. But like you said, they're not taking any new patients. And everywhere you go, every clinic, no new patients, no new patients. And so we're all my have family members who live here, and they've been here 15 years, and they still don't have a doctor in their big city. So it's just crazy. And so
Well,
for years, I've always used alternative care, and my body loves alternative medicine, like I
mhm.
do. I've done Reiki and reflexology, and different modalities like that to maintain my wellness. and my body responds really well to that. So I've managed to stay away from pills and big pharma. And right now, as you know, I just had my 75th birthday. Uh,
Yay!
I
Happy
know,
birthday, Valerie.
so, and I'm thinking, wow, how fortunate am I? I have my mobility. And you know, I had that cancer a couple of years ago, but I think, and Virginia and I had to talk about that because we were in good health to start with, and our bodies could fight for us and heal ourselves.
Yes, yes. And
And everybody has to get there right away.
when I was paralyzed and I was lying in the hospital in a rehabilitation center, my wife got me out of the hospital because the people we wanted to come in and treat me, the modalities we wanted to have in the hospital back in 1992, were not allowed in the hospital.
Exactly.
So it was take the pill, or and your friends can't come in because we got to monitor them, or and if
No,
you don't take the pill, you don't get any service. And so that world hasn't changed much in the last 20 years because it took 100 years to get to the way it is. That's
right.
what most people don't understand. They think they're going to change leadership in the NHL. They think they're going to change leadership in the hospital system and in the pharmaceutical world. No, you can't. If it takes 100 years to get like it is, there isn't anybody, that very few, that will sacrifice themselves to making that change from the inside, and you can't make that change from the outside,
Exactly.
right? Each
Exactly.
individual. Now tell me, Laurie, like you're a perfect example, like, and your doctorate is so well deserved because you're doing 20 times, 30 times, 40 times as much as a medical doctor is doing right now, and the results you're getting. Like, tell me about your last journey. No names, but just like what are you up to these days?
Well, and you've experienced this yourself. So you know those first 10 hours that you spent with me working on you, right?
Yes.
That I cannot make medical claims, all right? We can't make medical claims, but I will tell you, out of that experience, people have quit smoking, they've stopped drinking, they got rid of their migraine headaches, they're sleeping better, they're eating better. And it's all because in that process, we learn to place value on ourselves. And self care becomes like the number one priority. And right now, my husband has shingles. I have no idea how that happened. But guess what? No pain, no itching. He doesn't have any of the major symptoms that you get when you have the shingles. People
Because
really
you're making sure he doesn't do the things that give him the symptoms, correct?
right. And
Yes.
he always lands on his feet because we take care of ourselves on a daily basis. So when something does come up, because we're all at risk, when something does come up, our body can fight it. But I had to learn first that I deserve to be well. And I think that's a lot of reasons why we have unhealthy people trying to help unhealthy people. You'll remember this. You're old enough. Back in the day, people would go to their doctor and he weighed 400 pounds and he's smoking a cigarette and he's telling them to quit smoking. But he's the guy with the medical degree. Really?
Yeah, yeah. They wasn't even telling him to quit smoking. The hospitals had a little room. Even listen, 1992, I could have been a patient in that ward in the hospital, paralyzed, and had been wheeled down into a smoking room that was at the end of the hallway.
No way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could go down there and have a smoke at the end of the hallway in the hospital. And people, like, today, if you said that to a young mother today, they would be like,
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be the warpath to get
that's
rid of that
right.
thing, right?
That's right. Exactly. So I believe that taking responsibility for our
Yes.
wellness, that starts here and knowing that we deserve to be well. And the human body is such an amazing machine.
And
And
it's
go
the
ahead.
central nervous system first. That
Right.
that that's that's the rule. It feeds everything else in our body. You go in, you get to know people, you engage with their psyche, they learn to trust you. You take them through a process, and without that process, you're not going to break down those walls. And that's one of the reasons that sort of the people who are doing this on a mass scale are letting so many good apples fall from the tree on the ground, because
Hmm.
they just don't have the money or the capability to do it. And so, what we're trying to do and what we are doing is making that money issue a non-issue today.
That's right.
It shouldn't be $20,000 to sit for 3 days and maybe hopefully something good happens. I don't really agree with that myself.
No, not at all.
And the Lord my God, he answered me, and this is what he said.
Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that ye may run that readeth it. Habakkuk 2:2. Now you go and live your dream.
I'm living the dream and loving my dream.
And I've done it. I've done
Oh,
it.
I have too.
So
I
it's
have
not
too.
like I'm standing on the outside going, I'm not going to do this.
No,
I've
no,
worked it out because the
I did
sales
too.
pitch was, off the
So good.
charts.
Hmm.
But holy cow, did I ever feel like I faded into the background quick?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Hmm. Well, that's like, and I've shared this before, Doug. Many years ago, I was on a speaking circuit with, and if I named some of the guys on that circuit, you'd know who they are because they're my vintage. But we would fly in and do, an event, and then I'd fly home. Like in 2009, I was on 55 airplanes. I was in 18 American cities in 2009 speaking,
Wow.
and
That's like the Bob Proctor, John Canary,
yeah, 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 that
Zig
whole deal.
Ziglar tour.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew him too. And
Hmm.
so, but I never felt good, when I got home, because I thought, wow, you know what I've done? I've opened up some cans of worms, and people would run up to me after, and and I had nothing to offer them. So I got off the stage. The other boys stayed on the stage. They died a lot richer than I am, but at the same time, now if I go speak, I have a toolbox for just about everybody, whatever their situation. So we do have 40 workshops called Responsible Wellness. I created that in 2003. I hired a professional trainer and nutritionist to help me to support me with the first 10 workshops. And because, like you said, Doug, and back to you, if we don't take responsibility for our health, we're in trouble already.
Yeah. So there's a good lead in. Here's the question: who's on your list when you sit down with your family on those Sunday night meetings, or once a month, whenever you do them? Like, who's on your list, looking older as opposed to, and looking younger? Like, you know, are there what type of doctors are they? Are they naturopathic doctors? Are they NDs? Are you looking for a shaman? Do you even know what these words mean? And
There
and,
we go.
and the likelihood for most of the population right now, they don't really know what these words mean, right? And it's time for all of us to open the front door, come
Hmm.
outside, and start looking for the people who have healed from bad injuries, who want to help you, not the people who don't want to help you, not the people who are looking to take the last cent that you have, don't not
Hmm.
those people, right? But the people who actually sincerely care and aren't charging you for a conversation, and getting you on the right path, or at least providing you options. Because what I've learned in my experience with trauma is there's only one reason you commit suicide. It's because you're left with one option, right? The human brain will not move towards suicide if it has any other options. That's
That's right.
pretty final,
Yeah, got that right.
right? So what we do, what you do, what I do, what we do together, and what we do in our own way, we lay out other options for people. And then out of those other options, the harder they work, right? With an individual, not, in the back of the room or at a table with four other people they don't know. With an individual, they work with you to lay it out. just like you need to work with your family and lay out what the next steps are going to be, because what, like, I know a dozen people that it's just going to end in the next year and a half, a dozen. And I
Oh,
keep
wow.
asking them, what are you doing? Well, I don't know. I got another year. It's like
Whoa.
whoa is right. And then I've got other guys, other people in my life who have a lot of money, and so they pay the $400 or $500 a month, right? So they can go get an MRI, so they can see a doctor just like that, you know. Or is your family in a position to be able to do that, to be able to fork out between, you know, $300 and $800 a month,
Hmm.
to know that you've got it covered,
Right.
right? So if you have to factor that into the budget instead of buying the Tesla, maybe, you know, you got to go for the Hyundai. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have one of those and I love that. The
Yeah,
second.
but you know what I mean, right?
I
Like
know exactly what you're saying.
there's these decisions, because we've never, as Canadians, keep this in mind, we never as Canadians ever had to worry about this type of thing.
No.
This generation of ours that we have right now has never had to worry about this type of thing. We don't know what it is. We don't want to talk about it, and so we're ignoring it. So that's the message to everybody: is tune in to what we're doing,
Hmm.
so that you can become more independent, so that you can take a little more responsibility. It's not going to wear you out. It's not going to ruin another part of your life. It's enhancement tools that we're delivering here on this show, and it's enhancement tools that you're delivering all week.
Exactly.
They don't take away. They're not going to rob you of energy. They're going to
No.
give you energy. They're going to give you knowledge, and probably most of all, they're going to give you connections.
Right. Right.
Probably, you
Yeah.
know, in the grand scheme of things, that's what happens when a pandemic happens, right? We all withdraw.
Yes, we did.
And incidentally, Laurie, we say we did, but we are, because
Still.
the aftermath of 9/11, if you look at the data on the mental health blast radius and how long it took to go away, we won't reach the peak of this trauma from the pandemic until next year, around March. Like at the end of the winter next year, it's going to be the time where there's more people curled up in a ball and freezing to death.
Wow.
And that's metaphorical. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Isn't that scary? Right?
Yeah. So we need to get people prepared to go and seek help, but we also, you know, and you could talk about this, getting people in a position so can make a salary, make some extra money, make it full time with what you're doing, Laurie, with all the courseware that you've created, focused in the right area at the right time for the right reason at the right place on this planet Earth right now. It's right here.
Hmm.
Talk about that.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. And
How can somebody join you, somebody who has experience or no experience, and then get into a position to be ready, you know, in the next year?
well, exactly. And we've always had a career opportunity attached to our business. So you see, and I like to liken it to, I might be able to play a great game of golf, but I might not be able to teach somebody how to play a great game of golf. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because that old term, train the trainer, that trainer that's training the trainers, that's another set of skills, which we actually have. So we can duplicate ourselves. And our team is growing right now, and we're really happy about that. And of course, to keep people out of the systems that aren't working, we always created entrepreneurs and we educated entrepreneurs and taught people how to present themselves and how to speak and create opportunities for growth. But you know what's really interesting, Doug? When somebody, and I mentioned this morning, when somebody says to me, "Oh, but I just don't want to go there,"
Mm.
you're in denial because you don't want to talk about the fact. That's why I love our colleague, Virginia Clark. Who do you know who would be more open to sharing the journey she's on right now, fighting breast cancer with 6 chemotherapy treatments under her belt, and she still comes to meetings and she still presents herself, and uh, and all that, and that's all because she knows she deserves to be well. And that's why she can go through that journey and not have all the same side effects as someone who is not emotionally well.
It's the environment, Laurie. Like
Yes.
when I was paralyzed and my wife got me out of the rehab center
Yes.
with two young kids, and she had to catheterize me because I had no bladder function 3 times a day. She had a hospital bed at home. She made the master bedroom a hospital room. And it was those kids who literally dragged me out of that bed, metaphorically
Yeah.
and psychologically,
Yes.
because they were learning how to walk. And what did I need to do?
Learn
I
how to
needed
walk.
I needed to learn how to walk.
Right.
so so it was normal for them that I went through that process with them. It was
Yeah.
really quite strange at times, but imagine if I was in the hospital and my wife was at home with the kids and I was looking around and at a whole bunch of other people who had the same thing I did. I mean, what's going to happen? How could my brain fight its way out of that dangerous situation,
And
right?
it couldn't. It couldn't. And Zig Ziglar said this years ago. He said, "You become what you are around."
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And that's why when Ron had a stroke 14 years ago, I didn't put him in rehab at all. We went right from the hospital to home. Yeah, because I didn't want him seeing what other people who had had a stroke looked like, because you know the brain better than I do, and how that would play in there, and embrace that thought that can be me.
Yeah. And tell me, I'm curious how this, all the work you're doing in the First Nations community right now. I mean, it has to lean there because your work is gravitating towards the front lines of all things trauma, of all trauma across the board. You're being looked at. This is the amazing thing, Laurie, and I got to blow your horn. You're being looked at by everybody right now with respect to what you're doing and how you're doing it right now, and what it leads to and how many people it can help. So
Well,
you can
here's the
speak to that.
beautiful thing. I just did a workshop. I went up north a couple of weeks ago, and I put 7 staff members through that retreat that we talk about,
Mhm,
reclaiming my self worth, because their team leader said we need to do some healing work
mhm.
and teamwork, because we work together in finance and human resources. They have key positions in a very large band. So the executive director believes in training leadership first and foremost, and then it filters down. They put probably 300 people through my lodge when I had it before COVID. They sent their staff and their community members down on busloads.
Wow.
So, but the thing is, when you work with one person, people think, well, that's not making much progress. But statistically, you are actually impacting 250 people. So right now, Doug and Laurie are impacting 500 people right now
Just
without even
that,
knowing it.
just with that mechanism.
My God supreme, a winning team. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream and loving my dream.
Everybody now.
I'm living the dream. I'm living the dream. Amazing dream.
That's
That's
right.
amazing.
Because if we passed away tomorrow, the average funeral back in the day was 250 people. Well, if you had 1,000 people, and I want to share a personal story about that, and then back to you, Doug. Ron's auntie passed away years ago now. She had a heart attack in her car on her way to a quilting party, her favorite thing. But she lived in the same community in Nova Scotia. She was born there, lived there, family there, everything. 200, a community, the population of 250 people. And she had a part time job in a dress shop in town, in Windsor, Nova Scotia, where the first game of hockey was played, by the way,
Yeah,
and
I
where is the
remember.
most amazing hockey museum. I'll put a plug in for that. But anyway, at the funeral, or the visitation and everything, she was very old school. There were over 500 people at her funeral.
Hmm.
She had one son, lived in the community her whole life, and that's what happened. So this woman came in because sometimes we don't know how we're impacting others until they tell us. This is
Mm-hmm.
what we need to remember. This woman came in, she had a pair of coveralls on and rubber boots full of manure. She was a farm wife. And I went over and greeted her and I said, "Did you know Doris?" And she said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I didn't know her at all, really, personally." And but she said, "I could not come here today." And I said, "Well, what's the connection?" She said, "My son was getting married and I didn't have a dress. And I went to that dress shop and she spent a whole afternoon with me finding the perfect dress for my son's wedding. And I will never forget her for that."
Wow.
Right? So even though sometimes it looks like we're not impacting very many people at once, we are in fact, because energetically, that ripple effect. So if we have, let's say, one person in a family in our workshops, let's say the mom comes and she takes a workshop, that impacts her whole family and how she's going to communicate with them and how she's going to treat them. So it does have a huge ripple effect
And
that
not
way.
doing anything has a huge ripple effect,
Right.
which is the exact opposite of that ripple effect. And
Thank you.
so,
You want
so
to, yeah.
yeah, if you find yourself not doing anything in this space, not sitting and thinking about how you're behaving or acting, that's a red flag.
Hmm. And
And
then when you don't want to, you
yeah,
resist it.
yeah,
There,
yeah, because you didn't think there was anything wrong. So become aware that you suffer from this now. It's important that so we all suffer from trauma. Trauma will always be with you, but trauma does not have to control you.
hmm hmm
Okay, so we all suffer from it. I could do a magic trick with the entire audience that's listening to this, and they'd all fall for it. But it's not falling for it. We all want to perform better, but we don't know we suffer from trauma, and trauma hurts our performance. And so if we don't know we suffer from trauma, we don't try to figure out what trauma is or how it works or what it does to us. And so we let it be a deficit in our life, our whole life. And then, and if you did that when you played in the NHL, I would pick your pocket and put it in the top shelf.
hmm
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a constant search that we must go on. Like, every single one of us has to go on this search for that. And the second we stop searching is the exact second that we start moving backwards, because nobody can sell me on the fact that there's some type of inertia out there. It doesn't exist.
hmm
Inertia does not exist. You are either moving forward or you're moving backwards.
hmm
And I always, when I get this opportunity with you, I always want to be able to share with people that you want to unlock the brain, right? You
hmm
you want to go from coding to consciousness,
hmm
coding to consciousness. You
hmm
want to work on that thing first and foremost. And in our future shows, we're going to be talking about things like this, Laurie, how this
hmm
ties in. There's three different nervous systems that you have in your body. And I'm not going to get into the details, but those nervous systems drive everything about us. One's in the gut, one's the spinal cord and the brain, right? So if you start with the central nervous system, if you start with the brain and the energy that you have to work with, you're going to continually grow instead of continually shrink, but you'll get to these amazing cascades where you improve, like 500% in a week or two,
hmm
and then you'll love what that feels like, and you'll go along just little tiny climb, and then you'll go up again. So
hmm
don't think that it's going to be a linear growth that you're going to have. Like, if you engage with the programs that Laurie has and the workshops that I have, you're gonna see extraordinary growth, and some extraordinary pain. There's some times where it's very difficult, right? The biggest challenge for people, I don't know about you, Laurie, but what I find is when they really realize that they've spent the last 20 years doing something that they shouldn't do, how devastatingly hard that is for people. What do you
Oh,
do with that?
definitely. Definitely. Well, people think that personal work or personal development or the study of self, like you said, is tough. But I always tell my clients, no, where you've been already is way tougher
That makes
than
sense.
what we're going to do. We're a walk in the park compared to what you've already been through. So don't be afraid of it. A lot of people have fear around it. Don't be afraid because you know what? If you survive that and that and that and that, you're going to get through this like a dream.
But they're afraid of the memory,
Yeah,
right? They're afraid of the memory, and so the memory of something stops them from progressing further in something else,
exactly.
which is really crazy when you think about it. You don't want to live your life like that. Like we've all been there. We've all been trapped in that cycle. But
Absolutely.
but really, you don't want to live your life like that. You want to get out of that cycle.
That's right. Because what happens is it locks up our potential. And as a teacher, my job was when you sent your little kids to me, we were trained. I'm a graduate of the Nova Scotia Teachers College. That was my first school out of high school. And um, you were taught how to build potential. And it's easy to build potential in children because they're not all messed up yet.
Mm.
But to try and share that with an adult, they think they've reached their potential. Another lie. See,
Well,
because
they
we tell
yeah.
ourselves these lies.
Well, they say that an educated man will not wait for anybody.
No,
But the uneducated man will wait and be calm. But the educated man will not wait. Will not
that's
wait
right.
for an answer. Will not wait for enlightenment. Will not wait for
No,
because they know
that's right.
they already know. So why would they be waiting for anybody to tell them anything?
Exactly.
And if this resonates with you and this sets up and you just shut your computer on me, then that means that what I'm saying resonates, and it's not like I haven't been there. Like
No.
became an asshole. I think in my NHL career, I became an asshole 3 times.
Yeah.
I got walloped 3 times before I realized like I got hit really hard.
Yeah.
Um, and I didn't know where I was or why people were treating me that way and why they didn't like me that much. And it's because I was being an asshole.
Well, there's the female version of that, and I'm very familiar with that too. And one day I looked in the mirror and I went, "Who are you? Like, this isn't who you are. This is not you. This is not who you should be." And I had been busy telling myself a lot of lies, that it didn't matter, and um, I'd blow people off, and I'd be unforgiving, and why did you do that to me? After everything I've done for you, and all this crap, about and making it all about me. And that was and the last hurdle though, Doug, the last hurdle, which was the most difficult, was to stop being offended.
Mm.
And that was big because I'm pretty sensitive and I care a lot and I give a lot of myself. So I used to get hurt really easily. And then I'd get defensive and I'd
Mm.
retaliate and I'd react, that knee jerk. And then I'd
Mm.
be that asshole,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
It sounds almost exactly the same, but just in a different sport.
Different sport, different place in life. I'm like you. What did you? I love it when you say this. This is yours. This is a Doug Smith quote. You went from wanting to becoming the best in the world to becoming the best for the world.
That was actually instantaneous. It was instantaneous when I broke my neck. When I was lying on the ice and I was still conscious with a broken neck,
Oh,
it was just it just woke me up, and I knew right away that it came with a sense of relief actually.
mm-hmm.
Because I think every player that plays a professional sport struggles and works and struggles and works and works and struggles and struggles and works. And, that next shift, that next game, when does it end? It never ends in your mind. And so when I hit the boards, like I seem to know subconsciously and physically that my career was over. And with that sense of relief came this rush of what the heck have I been doing? like, what have I been doing? What did it add up to? It didn't add up to anything. It didn't really add up to anything, except
Well,
for a lot of fans' pleasure. I
yeah,
mean,
of course.
so I mean, it was a great experience. Don't get me wrong, but when it ended, and I think this would resonate with a lot of former players, um, there was a sense of relief.
Well, let us
I can't imagine. Sorry.
no,
It
go
just
ahead.
makes me think, but I can't imagine the players that that go through that exhausting, excruciating, slow process of being removed. It's
Hmm.
terrible. It's terrible.
Yes.
It's like in the military, right? Same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
All
go
right.
ahead.
Well, let's take a little break because I want to talk about this before we take our little 30-second break. On my trip to the north, I have this, Galaxy audio, and I just listened to my favorite tunes the whole way up. And before you know it, I was there, and I did the same for the 14 hours on the way back. Oh, and I've been re-invited. Now they want me to come back up and do something for their prevention team.
Nice.
11 staff members. So I'll be
Nice. I
going
hope
back.
all you corporations are listening out there because this
Yeah.
needs to be done inside your organization. Go ahead,
That's
Laurie.
right. Yeah. And because they want healthy people helping unhealthy people in our
Hmm.
Indigenous communities. So, anyway, I'm honored. I'm really honored to. I got a notice. We want the same workshop you did for the finance department. I said, okay. So I'll be going back up. But anyway, having said that, there was a little clip of music between some of the tunes. So here I am in the car practicing. How much can I say in 30 seconds? Because the clip was 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Dr. Laurie Davis. And and then I'd blah, blah, and then I'd mess it up. And so by the time I got home, I had developed like this 30-second clip. So I'm going to show you a 30-second clip, just the snowflakes floating up in the air, because yesterday we launched our advertising and sponsorship campaign for any show that I'm associated with.
Oh, okay.
So that means our show, Doug.
Ah,
Okay.
good, excellent.
And, we have some pretty big sponsors, Veterans House, Veterans Alliance. We've got Bell, we have Your Home TV. We have all kinds of support that way. But I wanted to provide a space on our shows for those mom and pop businesses, an at home business. Maybe you have a book, maybe you've got an event, and you want to be able to showcase it on our shows. So that includes the press box, and that includes all of our Today shows and whatever else we're associated with. So start practicing your little 30-second. We have a production team. So your little 30-second or 1 minute jargon, and we're going to provide a heck of a deal for the first 30 people who want to come and advertise with us. So it's like everybody can afford it. It's amazing.
Join
And
us for recovery and performance, right? It's all
exactly,
recovery and performance.
exactly. And if you've got a product, a program, or a service that helps people to recover, then this is where you need to advertise it.
We
Okay.
want to tell people. We want to tell people about it.
How about you? Yeah.
We're going to have
Yeah.
shows in the future where companies are going to come on and show you the latest technology in neuroscience. I got
Yeah.
these people. It's going to be fun. Please
It's
come and
fun.
join us.
Yeah. So here's your 30-second clip. It'll be like this long. So watch the snowflakes creep up
You'll
into
look
the air.
like her.
The day is set. Join us October 12th, 2024 at Carrigan Arms for our next fundraiser in honor of veterans, the Invictus Games in British Columbia, Canada, and TDC Employment Program Enrollment. For more information, email us at info@thedisabilitychannel.ca. Introducing Veteran House Alliance International Monthly 50/50 Raffle. Purchase your ticket today, link on display, and have a chance to win cash and help a great platform supporting veterans.
Well, you could say a lot in 30 seconds, actually. I was amazed at how much I could spill out in 30 seconds.
Can't wait to see it.
So, Doug, I have a question because this is something you and I have talked about a lot, but I'd like you to expand on it if you don't mind. And you've often shared with us that recovery and performance mean the same thing. So, do you want to expand on that? Because some people might say, well, what are you talking about? Recovery is different than a performance.
Well, they're on the same spectrum,
Okay.
right? So the worst injury to your brain that you could have is on one side of the spectrum, and the highest performing brain is on the other side of the spectrum.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and the brain doesn't know the difference. The only thing the brain wants, it only wants one thing, and it doesn't matter what state the brain is in, what
Okay.
little brain you have or what massive brain you have. Your brain only wants one thing. It wants to get better, or it doesn't,
Right.
right? And you're moving yourself into getting better or worse at all moments of all time of every second of the day. You can't just turn this thing off, and you can't even turn it off when you're sleeping. That's why I created the series of meditations. You can put it up, DougSmithPerformance.com/relax, and you can download meditations where you can leverage this knowledge of you're either getting better or getting worse all night long. You can just leverage it. You don't have to do anything. I try to tell people, if you want to spin a ball on your finger or juggle, or it's not hard. Like it's not hard to meditate when you're sleeping. Have you ever heard of anything that easy? And you got to convince people to do it. So go grab the meditation and try it out. Put it on before you go to bed. Put it on your phone, and you hit play. You lie down on your back and you follow the suggestions. And it's done by a beautiful woman, Paulo Ness, out in your neck of
Yes.
the woods, and she does an incredible job laying out the foundation for awareness. And once you have awareness, I can't dictate where you're going to go from there, because if you had all the awareness in the world, I wouldn't know what to do with you. You'd be gone. You'd be like, you know what I mean? Like you'd be fine. If you have all the awareness in the world, you'd be fine. So get more awareness than what you have right now.
Absolutely.
And that's the message about, I'm excited about that. Everything's going to flow with the brain. I actually have a brand. I could talk about this, but I own
Sure.
neurofirst.com, and so NeuroFirst is going to be involved in the growth of what I intend to do to help other people with their health, their well-being, their happiness, right? So NeuroFirst will be a part of that. If you go to neurofirst.com right now, you'll get to Doug Smith Performance. But I can't wait to roll out what we're rolling out, and what you're doing right now is the tip of the arrow, though. The self-worth. Like, Laurie, what could you do for yourself if you didn't handle self-worth properly? I mean, it'd be hard, wouldn't it?
Well, actually, Doug, it's a matter of life. It's like you said, the brain wants to get better, or it's a matter of life or death. And that's where I agree with you 100% about your philosophy around suicide, because when I love who I am and I have my self-worth intact, I'm not going to do anything to hurt myself.
You'll actually avoid it. You'll avoid it.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in a car and you feel really good
Oh,
about
yeah.
yourself, you're a lot safer than if you're in a car and you want
Oh,
to,
yeah,
and you just feel bad about yourself.
absolutely. And I know for a fact, like anything that I've experienced personally, like when I had the cancer and COVID, and, I had a nasty legal case back in the day, if I hadn't had my self-worth intact, I would have killed myself at least 4 times so far.
Really?
Because there was huge stressors and huge problems and things that I didn't know how to maneuver. And I think, and here's the other thing though. I bet you've had this happen to you too. I've had a lot of people give up on me, but the key was I never gave up on me.
Ah, I see. Yes.
Okay.
So,
And
that should be universal.
right. And if I'm in a position where I'm never going to give up on me, you can get through anything. But
Yeah.
when we're influenced by others saying things like, well, like right now, I've had this said to me, and I've had, that, well, who do you think you are? that
Or
you
what do
think you
you
can.
want from me? That's another one. What do you want
Oh,
from me?
what do you want from me? People thinking I'm after them
What?
for something when in fact it just happened to me this week.
Yeah, I'm just standing here.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to work on yourself. That's not my problem. Maybe that's yours because I've already done my work, a lot of it. Right?
Yeah, yeah, and if you don't know these things and you're out in the marketplace trying to do good and you get slapped in the face by these people, you got to be well armed, right?
Well,
Not
yeah.
in an offensive way, but in
No.
a way that defends your own personal soul, right?
Well, all they've really told me is how much they actually need what we do.
Yeah, but if you're the type of person that absorbs that, you can turn it around. First, you stop it.
Yes.
Then you can throw that twist on it like you do. Well, I'm glad they said that. I've been looking for them.
Yeah, I know. And you know that thing about what people are doing? Oh, I don't want any more toxic people in my life. I want just positive people in my life. No, I want the toxic people. Bring them on.
Yeah, it doesn't it make life a lot more interesting
Oh,
to
blissful,
yeah,
blissful.
yeah. And if you have the tools, this is the other thing. The- If you really want to go and help people, which most people do, it's one of our three priorities,
Right.
then come and learn this stuff just to go help other people.
Exactly.
If you've got it figured out, but you don't know how to translate it, because that happens to a lot of people, right? They live a fabulous life and they get everything done in the house, and then they go outside. But they'd love to be able to help a person across the street with something, but they don't know how to translate it.
That's right.
They're good people, but they question it and they're not sure because maybe they've been burned in the past, right? But
Of
you get
course.
further faster. Here's how trust works. If you trust and you get burned and you stop trusting, you won't get as fast as far as if you
Mhm.
get burned and continue to trust. And
Well,
that just that one
precisely.
little thing can change your life, right? Because it allows you to go across the street, and say something to the neighbor or start to build your environment. Because if you start getting in the habit of not trusting people, boy, that's a devastating habit to have. Devastating.
That's it's almost like an addiction. Um, yeah, and that's what I had to learn. If someone hurt me or stabbed me in the back,
Hmm.
actually, it had nothing to do with me.
Hmm.
It had everything to do with them and their bad behavior.
Hmm.
But I took it on, because when we're children or we're young, we don't have the tools and we don't have the savvy to know how to defend ourselves properly. So, we become angry or we retaliate or we find fault or we get offended um, but we have to look at that. Why should I allow that person to destroy my ability to trust?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I trust people straight up and I always have. I took in a girlfriend one time, Doug, with her two teenagers because they were on the street. And 3 months later, I came home and they had emptied my place. They even took my electric toothbrush.
They robbed you,
Absolutely.
and you
And
you
now,
got
do you
them
think
you got them off the street, and then they stole everything
that's
from you.
right? And
Wow.
I'm the last person that should trust anybody in my home, but
Wow.
I couldn't put that boundary out there because then that was not who I am. And I've had lots of people come and go and stay with me and clients and friends who are desperate or, and I have no problem with that at all because if you're going to steal from me, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Hmm. Yeah. And how do you see this expanding? What is the path? Because I know you're doing you're out there doing your work, delivering your work, getting results. What would you like other people to do where can they go to get a glimpse of what you're doing? Where can they reach out?
Well, first of all, you'll be really proud of me because I'm getting a new website up and running right away here soon.
Oh, wonderful. Can't wait to
Yes,
see
and
it.
you're going to love it. TheRecoverymechanic.com.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yes. So I organized my web designer yesterday and sent her a bunch of stuff, and we're going to have that up and running. But in the meantime, I really love to do person to person call, and I take calls all the time. So all you have to do is call the doc. Let me just see where it is here. just call me. I answer my own phone, and and the other reason I like to do that, Doug, is because you can go on a website and get the information and all that, but every individual to me is different in that they might have had, like you and I may have had a similar trauma as children, but how we manifested our life after that fact is very different.
Hmm.
So it's when I used to see a bag lady or a street person on the street, and I go, the old Laurie would say, "Why don't you just go get a job and that'll solve everything?" I didn't realize that that bag lady had had the same trauma that I had as a child. She chose the street, and I chose perfectionism.
Oh, okay,
I
just a
just picked
different
a different.
addiction.
I just picked a different poison, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I didn't know that for many years, and I was quite, uh, yeah. Here we go. Call the doc. You want to know more? There we are.
Yeah, there. That's
You can
awesome
text
because
me.
I think that should be up, almost right behind your head. I
Okay.
think it should be there so that people can have access to it all the time, because when somebody's struggling or not sure what they're going to do, if it's not readily available, if it's not right there and easily accessible, I'm like everybody else. You put it off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So so
exactly.
so don't put it off. And if you want to communicate with me, of course, you can download the meditation, but I also have a contact page on my website, and I'm very active on LinkedIn. I think anybody would be happy to join my newsletter on LinkedIn, because I lay all this out in a systematic way so that people can print it out and put it in front of them, and just as a reminder. My face isn't on it, don't worry, my face won't be on it. Just but I'm trying. I'm right now, Laurie. I've got another book coming out. I haven't
Oh,
talked
good.
about this much. The book is called Performance right now, but it's a book. It's about 100-page book, and it's just testimonials on what people have used my work for, so that people can see that, maybe identify with one of the stories in the book. Not, and not everybody gets 100% better, but I'll tell you what, if you've got anything left in your brain, I'm thoroughly convinced you can regrow the rest of it.
Absolutely.
This thing regrows itself. The stuff they're doing in the lab right now is absolutely ridiculous. Like, what's going to be coming out with respect to biomarkers associated with Alzheimer's and dementia. They just don't know what to do with this technology right now, because they don't know whether you know they should be telling 25-year-olds that they have biomarkers for Alzheimer's. So what do that's another healthcare subject. What do you do
Mhm.
with that? So it's not just the biomarkers, it's things like vertigo, and there may be some people that have listening that have somebody in their family with vertigo, but we're pretty close at the University of Montreal to patching that with just an electrical signal that makes it go away inside the brain. Isn't that amazing?
I have suffered with vertigo, not for many years now, but in my 30s. And honestly, the first day that it happened, I thought I had a brain tumor.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was scary, scary. I don't have it anymore. But back in the day, before I'd done any work on myself, I had
Well,
vertigo.
there's one thing everybody can do right now that will improve, and I want to give everybody this. I did help this company early on. I'm not involved with this company, but they needed a little bit of help. I did it, and I'm glad I did, because it's the only technology in the world that I'm aware of that builds spatial capacity inside your brain. It literally grows your brain, and it's a tool called NeuroTracker. You can go to neurotracker.net, so neurotracker.net, and you can try the sample game. You might have to order some 3D glasses, but I'll tell you what, in 30 minutes a month, okay, 30 minutes a month, you will double or triple your spatial capacity, which is directly related to neurocognitive ability. So when you do this and you double and triple your spatial capacity, you get smarter
Yes.
and you heal faster.
Cool.
Right? And this is, look, this is going into all the U.S. Navy, Air
It's
Force.
another show, man. That's another.
No, but seriously, I'm just trying to leave. I want
Yeah.
to leave something with somebody electronically. I want to leave something with them in writing. I want to leave something with them in video. You can watch the video on the front page of Doug Smith Performance. I just want people to take some action and not just get up and walk away. That's all. I just want them to get going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's another big part of what we're doing is expanding our platforms.
Oh,
So if people want to um, activate the show and help another person, when you watch the show, if we have information that you think would help someone just share the show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. We do 6, 7 shows a week. Like just click on share. When you click on like, nothing happens, but you click on share and you leave a comment and your friends' names, like it's, if you're looking for a camper and somebody puts a camper up on Marketplace or Facebook or Kijiji or whatever, people will share that with their friends who are looking for a camper. So if you would do that for a camper, why wouldn't you do this? It's the same thing. So just share the shows. And that can be very huge. Um, do you know, I had a client yesterday and he was telling me, and we have to wrap things up, but he wanted to go jet skiing on the weekend. Now, you live on the Ottawa River, so this might be a business for you. He went to one of our local lakes, the only lake in all of Alberta that rents jet skis. Okay. $148 an hour plus the gas. And there wasn't one to be had. So I said to him, let's, think about that. That's a business. And where I used to live in Buck Lake, Alberta, it would be perfect for there. So, there's so much to do and there's so
Yes.
many things that are at our fingertips.
Yes.
Thank you for those tips.
Oh, it's been a fantastic day, and continue your great work up north, and just personal, caring,
Mm-hmm.
loving. Right,
Mm-hmm.
that's what people need right now. They don't need loss of emotional control. That is the
No,
opposite of what people need. So keep it
exactly.
cool. Keep it cool with your people. Keep it cool with your friends. All will be good.
Yep. Well, we have a dog out in the back alley here. When I take my dog out, this is a big German Shepherd, and he jumps up, and I'm scared to death he's going to come out through that gate. And so yesterday, and my dog doesn't care. He's just walking along. And then I looked back at the German Shepherd and I said, Bill, take a chill pill. So we could say that to our audience.
Yeah.
Doug, it's been a delight, and I just look forward to our shows every week, and I love our conversations.
Oh, next week we're going to be having one of the lady professional hockey players coming on.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah, yes.
Great. Well, you get that out to me because I'm going to start promoting our shows ahead of time so that people know what's coming up and who's going to be there and can plan on coming. So
Yes, very exciting
okay.
summer, and everybody have a great week.
Absolutely. Bye for now.
The Disability Channel would like to thank our existing sponsors. We really appreciate the support and kindness from the BIAs across the GTA, Ontario, Canada, and our friends in the USA. We love making new friends. Thank you for supporting our existing employment programs.